Welcome to this lecture. It's going to be about inventory control. Now, when I say inventory, I need to define what are the things that I put in my inventory. The inventory is where I store goods, including raw materials that I'm gonna use for my products. I can purchase some parts to assemble in my factory. I can store also partially completed goods. We store the finished goods as well and the spare and replacement parts. Now, why do we stock? Why do we need to place extra amounts of units in my inventory, whether it's a finished product or the raw material for manufacturing? First of all, because we need to protect against price increases. Sometimes the suppliers will change the prices of raw material. So if I already have an enough stock in my inventory of raw material, I can save myself and protect myself from the prices that might be increased by the suppliers. And sometimes when I take huge quantities, I will get some discounts. So this is something tempting when you want to reduce the prices of the final product. So you will buy huge quantities in order to get advantages of discounts. And sometimes you don't want to lose customers' demand. Sometimes the customer will make some demand that you usually don't have. If the customer will go and find your product with another supplier, so you will lose the customer because you have stocked out. So this is another reason to keep some extra units in inventory, so to satisfy the customer's demand or anticipate the upcoming demand. Now also, one point is to minimize the total cost of ordering. You know that each time you make an order of raw materials from suppliers, you'll have to pay for the order. So when you minimize the number of orderings each year, per year, you will have to stock large quantities. So this is another reason. Now, when you hold things in your inventory, you'll have to pay some costs. First of all, you have to understand that when you keep finished goods or raw material in your inventory, this means that as if you are freezing your money. With this amount of money that you used for the raw material, you could have done another thing. Let's say, for example, enhance your production line or do a certain investment. So this is a cost. And also we have some handling costs included. Let's say in order to get things moved in and out from the inventory, you need to use some forklifts. So this is the handling cost. Sometimes you'll have to pay for the renting the warehouse or renting equipment to use in the warehouse. So this is a cost. So these are costs that you will have to pay because you're holding things in your inventory. Sometimes you find that some of the items might get spoiled or damaged. So you'll have to account for this cost. Let's say, for example, your raw materials are edible things. So you have to make sure that they do not get spoiled by putting some refrigerators, for example. So you are paying an extra amount of money in order to hold these items stored in your inventory. Also, when you have so many items in your inventory and items of value, you will have to pay some insurance to make sure that you do not get any thefts happening. We also have some costs related to the ordering. Each time you make an order, you will have to pay extra costs, because when you do the procurement, when you purchase any raw material, you will have to pay for the cost of the raw material plus the cost of ordering those raw material. Why? Because you will have to pay for the transportation, for the trucks that will get those raw material into your warehouse, the handling costs after I have the trucks arrived, who will get the items out of the trucks into the inventory, so you'll have to pay for handling costs. Also, you might do some inspection on arrival, so you will hire someone, you might get the quality control engineer to go and check the goods, are they acceptable or not. So this is a cost. So each time you make an order, you will have to pay these costs. So this is the difference between the types of costs. We have the holding costs, whatever you're gonna pay in order to keep your items safe in your inventory, and costs related with the orders that you'll have to pay each time you make an order. Usually the ordering costs, they're gonna be fixed no matter what is the quantity that you will order. Now, inventory management involves the following points. You have to keep track of inventory. What is the system that you're gonna use? Is it, let's say, barcoding? When you put barcodes on each item that you have in your inventory, you can track it easily on your system. You can know how many items are left. So when you know how many items are left and you know what is your demand, you have a reliable forecasting of the demand. You can tell each week or each month what is the amount of finished items that your customer will order. Then you will have to calculate, I know that I have the following in my inventory and I know that I am gonna have amount X of demand. So what is the amount needed for this month or this week? And you'll have to know the lead time. What is the lead time? It is the time between making the order and receiving the order that you made. This is known as the lead time. You also need to be aware of the holding cost, the ordering cost, and the shortage cost. What is the shortage cost? It is the cost that you will have to pay if you lost your customer. Let's say you had a certain supply, but you got a demand that's higher than what you could have supplied, so the customer will go and find your product somewhere else, or you will lose your reputation as a provider of this end item. So there's a cost related for the shortage. Now, if I want to look at the inventory cycle, we will have to begin through the first point, when you receive an order. So when you receive the order, this is at point number 1, you will get number 2, the quantity ordered. Let's say here it is 350 units. Now, number 3 will show you the usage rate. How many units will you be using per day? Here the usage rate is 50 units per day. Now, you will keep using 50 units per day for one whole week, for 7 days. So 7 times 50, it's gonna be 350. So you will be needing 7 days in order to deplete all the quantities that you have ordered. Now, should I wait till day 7 until I have nothing in my inventory and say that I have finished my raw materials and I need to order another quantity? No, we usually don't do that. We will have to determine a certain amount that you will have to keep in your inventory. When you reach this quantity, you will make your order. Based on what? Based on point number 4, which is the lead time. Suppose that the lead time is 2 days, so I know that if I make an order, I need 2 days in order to receive it. For those 2 days, I will be consuming 50 units per day, so this means 100 units. So you'll have to know that at point 5, when you reach 100 units in your inventory, you will have to make an order. This is your reorder point of 100 units. Then, when you do the order, you are having 100 units per 100 units in your inventory. You will wait for 2 days and your order will be received. So this means that you didn't get out of stock. And you will do this again and again. So this is your inventory cycle. The things that I need to know is the order quantity, which is Q equals 350. We represent it with a Q. And you will have to know these names, the usage rate, lead time, and the reorder point. Now I want to see how do I do the calculations. I'm interested in knowing the total cost, which is related to the holding cost and the ordering cost. So if I start drawing the graph, you will see that the holding cost will increase as the quantity increases. If you store small quantities in your inventory, you will be paying less money. But if you store huge quantities, this means that you will have to pay more holding cost. So the holding cost is related to the average cycle inventory. This means that I'm looking at the average quantity that I keep in my inventory multiplied by the unit holding cost. I will refer to it as H. Now the second cost, which is related to the ordering cost, it is the number of orders that you make per year multiplied by the ordering cost. Each time you make an order, you will have to pay a certain cost. So it is D over Q multiplied by S. The ordering cost will be referred to as S. Now I want to see what will be the total cost. It's going to be the holding cost plus the ordering cost. So the equation for the total cost will be summation of the holding cost. So it's Q over 2 times H, where we said that H is going to be the cost of holding 1 unit in your inventory for a year, plus D over Q, where D is the annual demand, Q is the quantity, and S is the cost of ordering per unit. Now I want to use these equations in order to know what will be the economic order quantity. What is the best quantity to order? If you look here at the graph, you will see that if the blue line is the holding cost and the red line is the ordering cost, they will be intersecting at a certain point. At this point, the ordering cost will be equal to the holding cost. Okay? So you will see that with respect to the black line, this is the lowest point. So this is the point at which the total cost is minimum, and this is the point that I need to get, which is the best quantity to keep in my inventory such that the total cost will be minimized. Okay? This is referred to as the economic order quantity. What is the quantity that I need to keep in my inventory of raw material or finished items such that my total cost will be minimized? So it's going to be the intersection of the ordering and the holding cost. So if I want to get this point, I will have to put the equation for the holding cost and the ordering cost and put it equal to each other. You will see that EOQ is the square root of 2D times S over H. Let's see this example together. Here we have one of the top selling tires in a manufacturing firm, has a sales of 18 units per week, and the supplier charges $60 per unit. Cost of placing an order, this is the ordering cost, is $45. So you're gonna pay $45 each time you make an order. Unit holding cost is 25% of the final price of the tire's value. And here we have to know that the firm operates 52 weeks per year because we have to get the costs per year. Management chooses a 390 unit order quantity so that they do not make frequent orders. They want to minimize the number of orders that they do, so they decided to get a big quantity to store it. So you realize here, even if I minimize the ordering cost, the holding cost will be higher. So we have to find the point that will give me the least total cost, sorry. Here I want to find the annual cost, number of orders per year, the EOQ, cost at EOQ, and the times per year to make reorders. First of all, let's summarize the given. Here we have sales of 18 units per week, so this is your demand. So D equals 18 units per week. And I work for 52 weeks per year, so I have the total of 936 units. This is my demand. H, the cost of holding 1 unit for 1 year. We said that it's 25% of the value of the tire, which is $60, so the holding cost is $15. Order quantity, this is the order quantity. It's gonna be 390 units, which is determined by management in order to make less frequent orders. S, cost of ordering, is $45. I want to begin calculating the annual cost. It is the summation of the ordering cost and the holding cost. By just filling in the values into the equation, you will see that the annual total cost is $3,033. Part B, I want to calculate the number of orders per year. You have to use this equation. It is D over Q. So it is 936 over 390. You see it is 2.4 times per year. So this is close to making 1 order every 5 months. Now I want to calculate the economic order quantity. What is the best quantity that I should keep in my inventory? Once I equate the holding cost to the ordering cost, you will see that it is square root of 2ds over h, so it is 75 units. Okay, you see the difference. This firm used to order quantity of 390 units, but the best quantity to order is 75 units. Now what will be the annual cost at the economic order quantity? So instead of Q with the total cost, I'm gonna replace it with the EOQ. So C equals EOQ over 2 times H plus D over EOQ times S. So you see that it is 1,124. So you see, when I reduce the quantity to store in my inventory to 75 units, the annual cost was reduced and it became 1,124. But this means that I'm gonna do more frequent number of orders. How do I know what is the number of orders? It's gonna be D over Q, but here I'm gonna use not the Q, the original Q, I'm gonna use EOQ. So you will see 936 over 75 is 12.48. So as if I'm gonna do 12.5 times or 12 numbers of orders per year.